Yes.
I just sent you a text or an email this last one. Figure out what days would be best. Yes, Friday.
Oh, there we go, meeting must be started. Consideration around.
Or walk out, one of the two.
Welcome to our council meeting for 9/17/2018. In consideration for with those around you, please turn off your cell phone and other electronic devices. Can we have a roll call?
Mrs. Shoup?
Here.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Here.
Mrs. Dinello? Here. Mrs. Jenkins? Here. Mr. Augustine?
Present.
Mr. Fodor?
President,
Mr. Hack?
Here, we're all here. All right. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Mr. President, I'd like to make an amendment to the agenda. So
Okay.
I need a motion to I'd like to make a motion to make an amendment to the agenda to add executive session.
Can you read the reason?
and what would be the
And to
reason
do
for
it this
that?
point,
Yeah.
even though, okay. So the reason for the executive session is in accordance with ordinance 121.228 to consider confidential information related to marketing plans, specific business strategy, production techniques, trade secrets, or personal financial statements of an applicant for economic development assistance, or to negotiate with other political subdivisions respecting requests for economic development assistance in accordance with section 3735-67 of the revised code.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Dinello?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoup?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes.
Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Mrs. Dinello?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoup?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes. Our invocation will be given by Jim Fodor. Please stand.
Almighty God, you have set before us the responsibility of the city. We ask your guidance and direction that we, the members of council, may do what is best for the people that live here. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our minutes from our regular meeting, 9/4/18. Can I hear a motion or is there a correction?
Motion to approve as submitted.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Thank you.
Okay. Ayes carried. Public comment from visitors. We will not recognize the visitors. Please raise your hand if you wish to speak. When called upon, please use the podium. Clearly state your name and address into the microphone, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Any dialogue must be conducted through me as council president. Who would like to speak? Yes, please.
Our group's interest was piqued by the 2010 Citizens United versus Federal Election Commission ruling and other Supreme Court rulings that deal with money in politics. 19 states and more than 700 cities have voted to demand constitutional action to reinstate control of campaign finance. Our goal is for Painesville to be part of a growing number of cities in Ohio like Mentor, Akron, Cleveland, Kent, Toledo, Cincinnati, and Dayton, and others, to pass an initiative in support of the 28th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. This is just one step in a very, very long process. Through an election, we are giving Painesville City registered voters an opportunity to voice their concern for the influence of big money in politics, as other cities around the state and the country are doing. As the name Move to Amend implies, we are calling for an amendment to the Constitution. Why? Because we believe inalienable rights belong to human beings only, not super PACs, unions, corporations, or other legal entities. We believe that money is not a form of First Amendment protected free speech. We believe that legally created entities do deserve legal protection, but only humans deserve constitutional protection. If this passes like other cities that have already passed this initiative, City Council will be required to designate one day biannually as We the People Day in Painesville. On that day, a public forum will be held to discuss money and politics and its effect on our democracy. Additionally, it will require City Council to inform state and federal elected representatives that the citizens of Painesville in November 2019 voted in favor of a citizens' initiative calling for a constitutional amendment declaring that only people have constitutional rights and that money is not protected speech. The idea is to make our voices heard and reach our state and federal elected officials in as many ways as possible. We would like this initiative to appear on the November 2019 ballot. Our citizens deserve a chance to decide for themselves how they feel about this issue. I have the petition with me tonight. The petition is prepared except for one last step. It is a state law that prior to circulation of an initiative petition, a certified copy must be filed with the city auditor, or in our case, the Director of Finance. Under the direction of Mr. Gurley, Mr. Brunet, our Finance Director, was told the petition could not be certified because this is not a city issue, that the city does not have jurisdiction.
Whoa. I've had conversations with Mr. Unetic, but you were never involved in them. So how do you know this?
He told me today.
Well, are you sure you got his wording right?
I believe I do.
Well, why don't you say that that's what he told you, but you don't know that.
Well, I was
Do
told.
you?
I was
Do
told.
you know that, yes or no?
I
Yes or no, do you know that?
You're using your lawyer techniques.
Ma'am,
You're not.
I'm just asking you made a statement that affected me. Now, I'm asking you, do you know that for certain, yes or no?
Can I continue?
Sorry, extra 2 minutes.
I think this is a very important thing, and I request that I have more time. And I'm almost done, I really am. I'm just here, and one more little paragraph.
Okay.
I will just forget that paragraph. It is my understanding that the city law director, and I did call you today, and you didn't return my call.
I didn't get your message.
It is my understanding that the city law director represents municipalities as its attorney. The city law director advises all municipal officers on various issues of the law. The city law director prepares contracts and other legal instruments, including approval of city council resolutions. We appreciate and understand the need for legal counsel, but it is my understanding from the Lake County Board of Elections that it is the responsibility of the city to certify an initiative. The U.S. Constitution has been amended 27 times in history. Among the most common, the 13th Amendment banning the practice of slavery, the 15th giving all citizens the right to vote regardless of race. I realize that this is an uphill battle, but we need to take a stand and make our voices heard. To go forward, we need to have this petition certified by the city. We are asking council to consider this issue and provide direction. Signed by me, John Bradley Dean, Karen Grippy, and Kathy Powers, who are on our petition. And I have copies that I'd like to.
Ms. Smith, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, come back. I'm sorry, what?
I thought there was somebody before me.
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
Go next.
Right ahead.
What's that mean, Rowan?
Oh, okay.
Those are-
Hi, my name is Marilyn King, and I live at 764 Pine Avenue, right down the road from Rotary Park, where apparently it's not a proposed, or it's not an option, it's a fact that there is a dog park that's going to go into that park. It's a residential community. I think with all the land that Painesville City has, that there would be a more appropriate place for a dog park besides a residential community. That's a park that just got cleaned up a few years ago, a couple years, 3 years maybe, I don't know exactly, from drug activity. And to put something other than, I feel, for children. We just had an incident in our neighborhood about 3 weeks ago now where we had, as one neighbor said, the police had to come and basically herd them like cattle because there were like 20 to 25 of them, so I'm told, and I saw a massive amount. They were just, these kids need something constructive to do. I spoke with Christine and she said that everybody on Pine Avenue agreed that they wanted a park. Now, I have 5 people that I know of, not including myself, that does not want a dog park there. And I understand that I would say a dog park any place besides a residential community. But a residential community, I don't think so. I live on Pine, we have people walk up and down, I'm picking up other people's dogs. I have a dog, I have 3 cats, I'm an animal lover. I'm all for a dog park, not there. I was told by Christine, correct me if I'm mistaken, that the Rotary has decided unequivocally that it's a dog park. I think that looking at the long range, even if it was a success for a year or 2, what happens if this, for lack of a better word, this trend fades away and all this investment goes into developing that for a dog park, not addressing the needs of children and young adults? Who's going to end up funding it when the participation falls off, people aren't going? I think that perhaps I'm knowledgeable because I just don't know where to get all the facts from, the taxpayers may end up having to absorb that. That's my major concern, the dog park. I want to be part of the solution. I don't want to be part of the problem. But I'm uninformed and I don't know really get all the information from.
Yes.
Couple of things to go back to. I did not say that the Rotary has made it a dog park. I had inferred that the Rotary has no objection to this becoming a dog park and that they are willing to fund some screening, tree screening and things as part of their initiative, but they don't have the right to approve or disapprove the dog park. But they're offering their support in a financial way to put in some screening and some, to keep a parking lot away from visually, so that it's much, you don't see the dog park as much when you look at the parking lot. And the second thing was, I didn't say that everyone on the street. I said that Michelle and I walked the neighborhood and we dropped off leaflets. You did correct me at the time when we were talking that not everyone would have agreed, and I amended my statement at that point and said, you're right, we dropped off information in everyone's mailbox, or we gave it to them, and we had no phone calls back. There were only 2 residents that we spoke with that didn't approve of them, and I think one was you and one was Mrs. Shook on the opposite side. So if I infer to you that everyone said that they approved. I remember we talked about that, and I did amend it, that we walked both sides of the street all the way down Hine and through Derby and either left information or spoke with those?
I don't know if I have a moment. Christine, I almost feel like I should have tape recorded our conversation because you said to me,
Sorry, yeah, it's supposed to be between
oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know.
But I mean, I think you guys should probably, after the meeting or, you know.
Have another conversation?
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Committee reports will now,
Go
oh, sorry. Happy birthday.
Just because I'm not complaining about anything, you Arthur Schmackin, representing the steel management at 348 Manor Avenue. Just been a while since I gave council an update. I think we had a successful summer. We had a lot of tourists from all over the world. It's amazing the places they come from. A lot of events. Corporate bookings are picking up. That's our goal, is to get more of the local corporations. That's why we're in really pushing as much economic development we can. It's the key to keeping the mansion going. In a couple of weeks, you may have, and this is the interesting part, notice a little more activity around the mansion. We have Big World Entertainment coming in from Los Angeles, and they've rented the mansion for a few days to film a TV pilot called College. It's for Amazon Prime TV. It's about a young girl that goes to maybe lesser means going to a high-class college, and I hope it's successful. So if you notice a little more activity around the mansion in a couple of weeks, that's what it is. So we'll put the days on that.
Thank you. Keep up the good work.
We'll move into committee reports, and we'll now have a committee report on the Economic Development Committee.
I'll take that. On September 6th, 2018, the Economic Development Committee met at 4 p.m. The first topic we discussed was our Economic Development Strategic Plan update. The plan should be in final draft form by the end of 2018 to start implementation in 2019. The downtown portion of the draft form will be completed and then will be synced with the downtown Painesville organization's strategic planning process in the fall so that they are in sync when moving forward. The next topic that we discussed was the John F. Clare Award update. This was an award that I believe was around for a couple of years, maybe a few years, and then we are bringing it back now. The nomination process will be in the Speaking of Painesville, and council, has asked to consider nominating someone, and nominations are welcomed by anyone in the community. We would like to give an award at a council meeting before the end of 2018, and that was all.
How about the committee for the planning commission?
At the last planning commission meeting on Thursday, September 14th, a public hearing request for rezoning of property at 448 Manor Avenue was held. The planning commission recommended that the application be denied or not granted. The applicant has 30 days after the decision of the commission to elect not to have the negative recommendation forwarded on to City Council, provided there is written notification. 47 South State Street was granted a temporary use permit to allow the first floor of the structure to be used for an event party center. The permit is allowed for 1 year. This is the Gage House. So it's basically renewing it for an additional year. 933 Manor Avenue was granted a temporary structure permit for 1 year to allow for two storage containers to be located behind the main building for storage, mainly for the senior center. And that is at the YMCA, and it's out of sight, and you really don't notice it. So this is just another extension for that. And then we did discuss the steel mansion and suspending basically the requirements or stipulations for that building so that they can move forward with the filming. That's all.
Legislation, if you wish to comment on legislation, you must request to do so at this time. Those who make such a request will be called upon after the reading. Any dialogue must be conducted through me as president of council, although your comments or questions can be addressed to the council administration as whole. When called upon, please use the podium. Clearly state your name and address into the microphone and limit your comments to 3 minutes. We're looking at resolution number 1, third reading. Resolution number 2, third reading. Resolution 3, third reading. Resolution 4, third reading. Resolution 5, third reading. Resolution number 6, third reading. Resolution number 7, third reading. Resolution number 8, first reading. And resolution number 9, first reading. We'll move into the resolution number 1.
Resolution authorizing the City of Painesville, Ohio to proceed with the demolition of an unsafe structure located at 69 West High Street in the City of Painesville, Lake County, Ohio, and to request the assistance and cooperation of the Lake County Land Utilization Corporation in effecting the same and declaring an emergency.
As council is aware, staff has identified 7 properties within the city that are unsafe structures and are recommending demolition through the Lake County Land Reutilization Corporation. Those properties will be the first 7 resolutions in your packet. There were a number of questions at the last council meeting, and I will be happy to answer those questions. Staff went back and looked at the number of properties that we had submitted to the land bank. Up to this point, we have submitted 32 properties for demolition to the land bank, and we have the 7 pending tonight, which will make a total of 39 properties. We looked through the advertisements, and that's the number of properties that were determined. Currently, the Lake County Land Reutilization Corp owns 30 parcels of property in the city that they've obtained through foreclosure. In addition to the single-family structures that the City of Painesville submitted to them, they've also assisted in the demolition of the parking garage, the Holiday Inn. We have also worked with them on 33 Stage Avenue, where they acquired that property, and they will be tearing down 33 Stage, which is an industrial building, so they'll be preparing it for redevelopment. In addition, they've also worked with local entities within the City of Painesville, nonprofits, and the county to demolish 6 additional properties within the city. And that information has been provided by Executive Director John Rogers. So as I stated, we have 32 that we've torn down with 7 pending. Should City Council approve them, they own the 30 parcels. The question came up as to how many parcels have been transferred or sold. To date, they have sold or transferred 14 parcels, and they also have interest in 6 additional parcels that they own. So of those 30, they have the neighbors have submitted a letter to them expressing interest in purchasing 6 of them. And just briefly, I'll go over the Concord. As council may remember, the land bank worked with Concord Road Equipment to obtain 6 parcels off of Chester Street, and basically those 6 parcels were turned over to Concord, or sold to Concord Road Equipment, and are now being put to use as industrial properties, basically, so that they could expand their business. They also obtained 4 parcels off of East Jackson Street for the county maintenance facility. So they obtained those parcels, tore down those buildings, and now they're constructing the maintenance facility at that site. The City of Painesville obtained 2 parcels, one off of South Settlers Lane. That was the access portion through for fire safety services. And then we also obtained one off of Skinner Avenue. They sold 1 parcel of land at 191 West Jackson Street to a neighboring property owner. that expressed interest, so he purchased that property. There were, as I said, there are 6 letters of interest currently pending that they are working through to sell those parcels off. And there was a property, or house at 668 North St. Clair Street that they bought and rehabilitated. That parcel has sold, so it's back on the tax roll as well. We talked about the 2 parcels that we obtained, the one that was rehabbed. As far as the taxes are concerned, currently they are not paying any taxes on the 30 parcels. However, the reason that they were foreclosed on is because they weren't paying taxes on those parcels. So basically, that's how they acquired them. The 6 parcels that were purchased through Concord Road Equipment now are paying taxes. The lot at 191 West Jackson Street is in a private owner's hands, and they are paying taxes. The house that was rehabbed at 668 North St. Clair Street is back on the tax roll as well. And the parcels where the structures were demolished, because they can demolish structures and not obtain the parcels, they are on the tax roll or subject to property taxes, but typically once they've been demolished and there's liens placed upon the property, they do not pay the taxes, so those could be foreclosed on in the future. And if there's any other questions, hopefully I am able to answer them.
Questions or comments?
My comment would be thank you for, talking with Mr. Rogers and finding out all that information and sharing it. I appreciate your effort.
Somebody make a motion?
Move to adopt.
Second. Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Dinello?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes. Resolution number 1 passed. Resolution number 2.
Resolution authorizing the City of Painesville, Ohio to proceed with the demolition of an unsafe structure located at 233 Jefferson Street in the City of Painesville, Lake County, Ohio, to request the assistance and cooperation of the Lake County Land Utilization Corporation in effecting the same and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Dinello?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes. Resolution number 2 passed. Resolution number 3.
Resolution authorizing the City of Painesville, Ohio to proceed with the demolition of an unsafe structure located at 325 East Main Street in the City of Painesville, Lake County, Ohio, to request the assistance and cooperation of the Lake County Land Utilization Corporation in effecting the same and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt. Second.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Dinello?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes. Resolution number 3 passed. Resolution number 4.
Resolution authorizing the City of Painesville, Ohio to proceed with the demolition of an unsafe structure located at 332 Fulton Street in the City of Painesville, Lake County, Ohio, and to request the assistance and cooperation of the Lake County Land Utilization Corporation in effecting the same and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Dinello?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Resolution, yes. Resolution number 4 passed. Resolution number 5.
Resolution authorizing the City of Painesville, Ohio to proceed with the demolition of an unsafe structure located at 356 Chestnut Street in the City of Painesville, Lake County, Ohio, and to request the assistance and cooperation of the Lake County Land Utilization Corporation in effecting the same and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Dinello?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes. Resolution number 5 passed. Resolution number 6.
Resolution authorizing the City of Painesville, Ohio to proceed with the demolition of an unsafe structure located at 484 Fairlawn Avenue in the city of Painesville, Lake County, Ohio, and to request the assistance and cooperation of the Land Reutilization Corporation in effecting the same and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mrs. Denalo?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes, resolution number 6 passed. Resolution number 7.
A resolution authorizing the city of Painesville, Ohio to proceed with the demolition of an unsafe structure located at 1291 West Jackson Street in the city of Painesville, Lake County, Ohio, and to request the assistance and cooperation of the Lake County Land Reutilization Corporation in effecting the same and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Denalo?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes, resolution number 7 passed. Resolution number 8, first reading.
A resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to this county auditor and declaring an emergency.
After we pass the tax budget, we typically do this legislation. It's a piece of legislation that we're required to pass annually. The Lake County Auditor's Office requires us to submit it to them by October 1st, 2018, and it's a resolution accepting the amounts and rates, basically telling us what we can expect from property tax. The Lake County tells us, the city, the approximate amount that we will receive for property taxes in 2019, and then we are responsible for approving that. The city expects the tax values to be the same as they were in 2018. It's projected that we will receive approximately $1.8 million in property tax revenues for 2019. It's the recommendation of staff that this be approved tonight on first reading in order that we can submit it to Lake County Auditor's Office.
Any questions or comments?
Move to suspend.
Second.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Denalo?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Denalo?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes. Resolution number 8 passed. Resolution number 9, first reading.
Resolution authorizing the city manager to sign and accept the petition of the landowner and business owner seeking to be included in the Concord Township, City of Painesville Joint Economic Development District, JED, filed by petitioner City of Painesville, Ohio, parcel number 08A02000000370, and declaring an emergency.
The Concord Painesville JED was created in 2008 as a partnership between Concord Township and the city of Painesville. As the hospital was leaving the city, it was developed in order for us to get back some of our revenues and also that we lost and assist Concord Township in developing their infrastructure around that area. The JED is currently made up of 6 property owners or members who have elected to be included in the JED. The city of Painesville currently has one piece of property parcel within the JED, which is Auburn Road Water Tower. And staff is recommending that we include another parcel of property in the JED, which is the Cryle Road water tank. It's the parcel that's circled in red there. It just adds another parcel to the membership of the JED board, and as far as voting and things of that nature, gives us a little bit more ability to bring people into the JED. Now, in addition to us requesting that this parcel be included, there are 3 other property owners who have requested to be included within the JED as well. A public meeting will be scheduled for Monday, November 5th, 2018, to include those parcels and expand the property boundaries. In the meantime, I mean, this can go 2 readings, but we are asking that it go no later than 2 readings, which gives the city manager the ability to sign and accept the petition of the landowner, which is the city, as the landowner and the business owner, because this is a parcel that the water department owns. It needs to be accepted as the business owner as well. And it's up to council how they decide to proceed. You can either pass it tonight, or we would request that be passed at the next meeting.
How many acres?
I don't know exactly what the acreage is. I'm sorry.
I mean, is
Get
it,
that for the next meeting if you'd like.
all right, is there access to the property, or is it that whole parcel that's there?
It's just that parcel, but there would have to be access. You can't landlock a parcel, so we would have to have some type of easement back to the water tower.
But right now, you own that parcel where it's sitting. You said it? Okay. That's a piece of property. Any other questions or comments? Questions?
What are the 3 other properties that are being requested in the JED? Are they residential, commercial?
They are 3 vacant properties.
I'm just asking, you're talking about the L-shaped ones and the 2 that are by the hospital?
These are the ones that are being petitioned to be included in the JED. And I can, or actually, no, those are occupied properties that are petitioning to be in the JED. So I can give you that information for the next meeting.
I was just gonna ask if anybody was opposed to passing this evening, but if we need more information, then. Yeah.
Mr. Lewis said it
It can go to the next reading. That still gives us 30 days prior to the public hearing, and that's what we need.
Ready to on the first reading?
Thank you.
Unfinished business, we have none. New business, none. Department presentation, none. Administrative report,
I respectfully request a brief executive session to discuss litigation. Someone make a motion. Take like 2 minutes, brief.
that's a motion.
Needs an executive session.
I missed it.
Someone just needs to make a motion to add an executive session
For which reason?
I'm sorry, what did you say? For pending litigation?
In addition to our imminent litigation.
I'll make a motion to add an executive session for pending litigation.
That's a reasonable thing.
Well, so my question is, can we do closing comments and then go into executive session, or are you asking that we go into executive session right now?
Closing comments in executive.
Thank you. So we've already done, I believe, the amendment to the agenda, including that executive session.
I think I can request an executive session. I need your motion that you can go into it.
Perfect.
Need a roll call.
Yes, roll call. Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Denella?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Fodor?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes, well, another executive session. Court responsive. Sorry.
I just want to thank council for coming to the work session at Stewart's Building. I think it was great that you got to spend some time out there and look at what's going on and get a visual of all the things we continue to talk about. So thank you for setting that up.
Great correspondence. Clerk of council.
The next regular council meeting will be held Monday, October 3rd, 1st, 2018, at 7:30. There will be a work session right before the next regular council meeting for the senior center to give a presentation. The Painesville Farmers Market continues to be every Thursday from noon to 4 until October 11th. Sunday, September 30th is the Farm and Fleet from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the JFS parking lot. The Fall Fest is October 20th from 3 to 6 in Kiwanis Park. And prior articles are due October 5th for the November edition.
Closing comments, Tom?
I'd like to thank the city for setting up the work session. It was really interesting to see the new building and all the equipment they have in there. It's very interesting, and I want to get Art Schmuckin's autograph before he becomes a famous TV star. That's all.
Thank you. Katie?
I just wanted to add to the clerk's announcements that this Thursday's food truck is Slimans. So mark your calendars, get there early. I'm assuming there'll be the same line that's always there when they come down. And then also I wanted to thank Brian and Ryan from Public Works for the tour that we had today, as well as Monica, who pulled off no small feat getting that project completed. So thank you.
Lori?
I also would like to thank people for the tour, and Brian particularly for getting things ready for us to come down, his department for showcasing, preparing to showcase the place for us. Also, for me, it was really good to get a visual. I know that's one of the first buildings I saw when I became a council member, and it was in very bad shape. I'm glad that the working environment is more safe and more healthy, cleaner, and more conducive to the needs of the employees, so that they're performing their duties efficiently. Also, to share that I look forward to seeing the continuation of plans developed for that complex, and I'm excited that we're looking at it. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. Nick?
I have a couple things. I read that the Painesville Fire Department, along with other communities in Lake County, was awarded the FEMA firefighter grant, which gave Painesville 23 self-contained breathing apparatuses, 2 rapid intervention team bags for firefighter rescues, and 2 pack trackers, and other minor accessories, which is pretty amazing. I also wanted to mention that after the Fall Fest on October 20th, the DPO will be hosting a Halloween party at Lake Erie College. It's open to the public and everybody's welcome. And then finally, I'd like to thank the Parks and Recs Committee. This last Saturday, they played Coco on blowout screen in the park, and we had a huge blowout. It was great attendance. Thank you for Councilwoman Shoup, who came in there and volunteered the whole time in the heat of everything while I laid on the grass and watched the movie. So it was an amazing night, and I hope they put something like that together again. That's it.
Jim?
I'm good.
And I would like to, proceed, sorry.
To go back to what Nick said, I never filled so many bags of popcorn in my entire life. She didn't charge enough. She charged 25 cents, which was great. We had kids coming up with pennies and nickels. One little girl walked up and wanted 6 bags. Oh my God. It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. There was less than 500 people there. It was great. The other thing to go back to, I pulled up my map on the JED parcels, and all the parcels are vacant land, and they are, the parcel that is in front of our water tower is one that's got a petition to join in, so that is in conjunction with our water tower. We don't own it, but the owner of the parcel in front of it is going in. But they have, the JED itself acquired 2 tiny small spots of land where when they built the new Capitol Parkway, because it got separated from road, they have 2 little spots there. They're moving that into the land. And then the third one, I don't have a name on it, but it is a parcel that is just a little bit further down off of Auburn Road from Vista, and it's, again, also vacant property. So it's all vacant properties that are going in. Got any answers any other questions?
I have no comments right now, but I would like to have somebody motion for another executive session.
I'd like to make a motion to move into executive session for, in accordance with ordinance 121-22.8, to consider confidential information related to the marketing plan, specific business strategy, production techniques, trade secrets, or personal financial statements of an applicant for economic development assistance, or to negotiate with other political subdivisions respecting requests for economic development assistance in accordance with section 3735.67 of the revised code and for possible litigation.
Second.
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Mrs. Zanella.
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins.
Yes.
Mr. Augustine.
Yes.
Mr. Fodor.
Yes.
Mrs. Shute.
Yes.
Mr. Hack.
Yes.
You want to say it or not?
You're going to see here.
What?
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
You'll wait. Just move to the show. 100 years.